There are a ton of games available on Xbox Game Pass, and although this year was struck by some pretty dire price increases, the release cadence on Xbox Game Pass has actually been pretty phenomenal. I know it can sometimes be hard to narrow down what games to play on Game Pass, so what I wanted to do today is just highlight 15 hidden gems that are available to play right now, and many of which have little to no fanfare but are incredible experiences. Remember as well, I am giving away a free Xbox game every single day in the run up to Christmas. I am making a video actually based on your favourite games of 2025, so to enter, just please let me know your top 5 games this year in the comment section below. Congratulations to yesterday's winner, just hit me up on our awesome Discord server and I will get that game right over to you. With that though, let's just dive into the cracking hidden gems you can play right now on Xbox Game Pass. The first game I wanted to highlight today is Dome Keeper, and this is an absolutely cracking indie that only joined Xbox Game Pass I believe at the start of December. It has such a brilliant gameplay loop that makes it a perfect roguelike for the right kind of player of course. Don't be fooled into a more relaxing mining experience out of this job, as every underground excursion is conducted with one eye on your watch as you hastily carve out and collect your findings before returning to the service chamber just in time to fight off a fresh wave of shadowy beasts. As the machinery within your dome easily grinds up the back-breaking resources that you hauled in, you then slump in front of the nearby console for a quick rest and then decide whether to invest that iron into improved defensive lasers or superior drills before getting back on the clock. It does such a fantastic job of that gameplay loop, and more people need to try this one as it's such a hidden indie gem. I am seriously addicted to Clover Pit, and honestly I cannot put this game down and I feel I might have a problem. Well, in a good way anyway. I reckon many might ignore this one due to the basic premise and the gameplay on the screen, but don't let it fool you. It is now on Xbox and Xbox Game Pass, as it did shadow drop earlier in November at the Xbox Partner Preview event, so I feel that's probably why it's gone under the radar. To give you an idea, you're essentially locked in a rusty room and there's only 2 ways for you to get out: through the door or into a pit. You'll plummet of course into the latter if you fail to pay off your rapidly increasing debt, so you'll be using your slot machine to try and earn enough money to keep that run going. I cannot understate to you how ridiculously addictive this game gets, and if you've ever played anything like Balatro, you know exactly what I mean. There are elements of RNG, but the strategies and builds you can make it so insanely enjoyable throughout the many hours you'll play this one. One massively underrated game that actually launched onto Xbox Game Pass this year was The Banisher's Ghost of New Eden, and I'm just so glad it's now available to all of our subscribers, as this one went so heavily under the radar late last year. It is an action RPG that features 2 romantically involved protagonists, and they are so bloody in depth, especially with their character progression. You can also switch seamlessly between each one of them, and you can use their own unique abilities and weapons in combat and just exploring the world of New Eden. Apart from the incredible story and the world choices, the overarching world here is just absolutely stunning and could easily take the cake as one of the best looking Xbox Game Pass games out on the market right now. I really did enjoy my time with this one, and I just love how in depth the story is and just how much it delves into some harder hitting themes. I highly recommend this one, especially if you've never played it before. Brotato may seem pretty simple on its surface. You're essentially a potato running around with weapons and then taking on aliens. However, that roguelike loop here is so insanely addictive, and it's one that I've personally put in over 20 hours into and still play from time to time. As I did mention though, the game seems super simple on its surface, but as you spend more time with it, you'll come to realise that it's very well designed. Brotato actually boasts 49 unique characters alongside many more with the DLC, and each of them demands that the player adopts a unique playstyle to fully realise their entire potential. It actually took me 87 hours on record to beat every single character on this game on Danger 5. It's an addictive grind, and I think the only way you'll ever stop playing it is just by uninstalling it. I mean it, this game is insanely addictive and you need to try it out if you can. Although Voidbreaker is on Xbox Game Pass, it is still a game that is limited to PC only at this current moment in time. However, an Xbox console release might finally be on the horizon, and you need to keep an eye on this one. I covered this one a little while back, but essentially it's a new roguelike first-person shooter. I can't believe how many roguelikes are on this list today, but it is utterly insane, absolutely gorgeous in the visuals department, and personally, I'm still kind of stumped as to how a single developer has managed to craft this experience. If you are wondering what this one entails, you essentially aim to escape an endless cycle by fighting off hordes of hostile AI. It features robust environmental destruction, some deep weapon modding, and alongside that, telekinetic powers. Voidbreaker really did deliver striking visuals and gameplay, and I can only describe it as adrenaline fueled. It is great to see it on Xbox Game Pass, and again, I really hope we do see a console release in early 2026. Darktide has easily become my de facto Warhammer game on Xbox Game Pass, and to be honest, is probably in my top 5 Warhammer games of all time, and is only slightly behind the likes of Space Marine 2 and the original Dawn of War. This one though is an FPS that's set in the hive city of Tertium. It actually allows players to team up and combat hordes of chaos-infested enemies. The game really does emphasize teamwork though, and is very reminiscent of games like Left 4 Dead, and somehow they actually did a fairly decent job on improving the gameplay loop that was set by Vermintide 2. I will say the one department they absolutely nailed above anything else is the atmospheric environments and also the lore, and that's really surprising as many Warhammer games on the market really negate how much of a big thing lore is within this franchise. It's still getting regular updates to this day alongside seasonal content, and this one's actually available to everyone no matter your Xbox Game Pass tier. Talking of darker and dangerous worlds though, I may as well pique your interest with Mech Warrior 5 Clans, and I think many actually forget this newest entry only landed on the Xbox Game Pass earlier this year and to some fantastic critical acclaim. In this one, you take on the role of a newly graduated pilot from the Smoke Jaguar cadet program, and then you're thrust into the heart of the clan invasion of the Inner Sphere during Operation Revival. This one is the most story-driven cinematic Mech Warrior game we've ever seen so far. While the voice acting and dialogue could certainly be a little bit better here and there, they really nailed the Battletech universe, and no other game has really come close to bringing that Battletech universe to life like this game. I'm also really impressed by some of the risks they took in this one, especially within the story, but of course I'm not going to spoil any of that today. It's one of those that you need to try out even if you're new to this one, and it is a pretty good stepping point, especially for all of you newcomers. If you're also new to the channel today and this is your first time tuning in and you're enjoying the content so far, please do hit that subscribe button down below. We are so close now to hitting 80,000 subscribers by the end of 2025, and I would just love for you to join our ever-growing and fantastic Xbox community. Thank you so much for all of your support this year, and let's dive back into the hidden gems you can play right now on Xbox Game Pass. If you know me by now, I absolutely love racing games, and I'm really surprised I've yet to make a video on the best racing games on Xbox Game Pass, but I digress. Dirt 5 was an original Xbox Series X and S launch title, and although it's 5 years old at this moment in time, it's still a solid pickup on Xbox Game Pass for any owner of the service. I will say that it's not an open world game, but instead you will take on races and a kind of story track where you have to complete certain events like races, hill climbs and more before progressing onwards. You also get a really decent multiplayer suite which isn't too complex, but the track builder is where it really stands out the most. There are some insanely wacky races that people have made, and I still can't believe some of them that I've come across as they're just so zany in terms of their design. Driving mechanic wise, it is a decent balance between a sort of arcade racer and more simulation focus, so you can definitely pick it up and have some fun immediately, even if racing isn't your preferred genre, or you're just kind of new to the genre as a whole. I have mentioned I Am Your Beast here on the channel a couple of times before, but it's still one game I have to recommend as it's an absolute definition of a hidden gem. Even going by the player numbers via true achievements, the amount of people who've played this one is still pretty minimal, and that sucks because it's so bloody good. As a very brief overview, is a dynamic first-person shooter, so think something like Super Hot, but with none of that sort of stop and start malarkey. The game is made in a gorgeous comic book art style and offers more than 20 levels with bonus tasks, and also the possibility of improving its own results with repeat passages. It's very highly popular in this case amongst the speedrunning community because it's all centered around completing each mission as quickly and efficiently as possible. It can get very difficult if you want to nail those gameplay aspects, but it's one game that you can breeze through within a sort of 5 to 6 hour period, and it's a really fun one at that. No More Robots have really earned a solid reputation for delivering quality indie games on Xbox, especially through Xbox Game Pass, and Descenders Next is a great example of that. The game entered preview earlier this year and expands massively on what made the original just so enjoyable. Whilst downhill biking may still be at the core of its design, the sequel now branches out with snowboards, mountain boards and much larger open world environments for you to explore. Movement and physics feel way more refined, allowing for smoother landings, tighter controls and some truly wild trick combinations. Each biome is also packed with hidden routes, jumps and challenges that do encourage experimentation and so much replayability. Multiplayer has also seen a pretty massive upgrade as well, and it now actually supports races for up to 12 players at one time. It really did strike a very great balance between highly skilled base gameplay and surprisingly chill gameplay as well, making it so easy for you to lose hours just riding around or just exploring its different worlds. They also put out most recently Little Rocket Lab, and that was only a couple months ago now, and it's definitely a game that deserves way more attention than it gets at first glance. I will say, please don't let the minimal art style fool you, because there's a lot going on beneath the surface of this one. You will be playing as a budding engineer that's determined to finish a long-standing family ambition by building a fully functioning rocket. To do that, you'll be designing different factories, creating clever machinery, and then managing production lines, whilst also getting to know the local townfolk along the way. It really does strike a really nice balance between the sort of cozy genre and character-driven feel of something like Stardew Valley, and then the satisfying automation systems you've come to expect from something like Factorio. The gameplay loop is surprisingly addictive, especially considering it's from a very small development team. It's currently also a timed Xbox console exclusive, and early player feedback has been extremely positive. I want to also welcome you all to Rainworld, and this is an indie that needs way more love than it really gets. In this one, you play as a slug cat, and survival is less about your heroics here, and more about learning the rhythms of a dangerous ecosystem. Predators you come across in the game will hunt you, the rain itself can also kill you, and food is very scarce. Yet within this hostile world lays a very strange and haunting beauty, and a fantastic story for you to dive into. The real standout to me though for the entire experience is that nothing is scripted, so stuff like predators will actually stalk and hunt you according to their own needs, making every encounter so unpredictable and also pretty frightening when you come across them. What kept me coming back to this one time after time though was just the satisfaction of finally mastering a route or just outsmarting a predator that once terrified me. Rainworld is certainly not going to be everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay, but if you do stick with it, the payout is experiencing one of the best indies available on Xbox Game Pass to this day. It seems to have been a very strong year of course for roguelikes, and I've mentioned a couple in this video already, but I do have to mention another one today. Sworn recently joined Xbox Game Pass, and it's a 1 to 4 player co-op adventure where you and your friends step in the dark reimagining of Camelot. The once proud kingdom has essentially fallen under the reign of a corrupted King Arthur and his twisted knights of the Round Table, and basically it is up to you to reclaim it. What made Sworn so fun though is just the way that your character's powers can be combined in some surprising ways, letting you master new abilities and also build powerful synergies to take on those overwhelming foes. It has seen some fantastic feedback and reviews since its launch on the Xbox Game Pass, and I can confirm this is another indie banger that you need to play. I can't be the only one, but I get some very sort of strange comfort when I hear the hum of machinery, and experiences like Satisfactory have really come in clutch, especially with how addictive they get. There is an obvious reason why they get so popular, and one that is available on Xbox Game Pass for you to play right now is called Tectonica. Like most other games within the genre though, you will start small with one conveyor belt and a mining drill, and then it's up to you to expand your underground factory. Unlike other factory sims out there though, like Satisfactory, exploration matters in this one, and actually plays a very big part in the overall experience. There is stuff like secret tunnels, glowing plants, and more, and they all hint of a sort of larger mystery for you to investigate whilst doing all the usual building tasks. I do have to say that the game also did hit its 1.0 status not too long ago now, and has well over 100 hours of content, so there's definitely plenty for you to dive into right out the gates. Amongst its many riches, Wheelworld is a real reminder that a game can appear to be constructed from familiar pieces or still feeling entirely unfamiliar for you to play. To put it another way, there are lots of elements I'd still tell myself I sort of recognise when I rattled around in this open world racing adventure. You will take part in races that see you collecting letters to spell out words, a la Tony Hawk, and you'll also unlock parts of the map or at least reveal many of its secrets by visiting shrines in a manner that could only come from a number of Ubisoft mega games. Whilst I both love Tony Hawk and many Ubisoft titles, this is good news still, because when it comes to Wheelworld, it really is its own thing and they do it pretty perfectly. It's an exhilarating and brisk experience, and rather personal as well in terms of its focus and its story once you delve into it. I still to this day say that Annapurna have a real knack of giving us some great indie experiences, and this is another one you need to try on Xbox Game Pass if you get a chance. Are there any games you would recommend on Xbox Game Pass that may have gone under the radar? Also remember to let me know your top 5 games of 2025 down below, as it will really help me out with a video in a couple of days time. Do like this video as well if you did enjoy it, and remember to subscribe for more Xbox content like this on a daily basis. I want to give a very big shout out as well to our channel members for your continued support this year, and if you want exclusive perks like emotes, videos early, some exclusive Discord access and so much more, then please click that join button down below, as it's pretty cheap to do so. I do want to say as well, if you want to check out some more awesome Xbox content here, I have been uploading of course for the 12 days of Xbox Nation, and you can check out the video on screen now. I actually covered 15 huge new games that are coming to Xbox Game Pass in 2026, which are highly underrated and need way more fanfare.